Hi, my name's Bryn. A couple of weeks ago, October 31st, death sent me a flesh-eating virus to take me out, and here's what happened. So on Thursday night, my flatmate came home and found me on the floor. I couldn't move, so we called an ambulance. They took me to Palmerston North Hospital. When we arrived there, everybody was freaking out, and so I was sort of freaking out too. And then the head surgeon came over to me and he said, "Look, I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but we have to be quick. We've just prepared the operating theatre for you. When did that rash appear at the top of your leg?" And I looked down and I went, "It's the first I've seen it, so it was probably last night." And he went, "If you'd come in tomorrow, you'd be dead. And we need to operate now, and you still may die. And I may have to take off one of your legs. So I need you to sign some documents and contact your next of kin." So that wasn't what I expected. I thought I was going to be in hospital for a couple of days and get free breakfast and lunch. And then I sort of just found out that I was about to die. So as we were heading to theatre, I called my brother Terry. He was sort of freaking out on the phone too, got passed over to a nurse or somebody who took over from me and carried on with him. And yeah, went into surgery. So how did I end up on the floor? It's a long story, and I should 100% be dead, and I'll tell you why, but I'll tell you at the end, because I think you should hear the whole story. If you want to skip it, I'll put the number down here, and you can just skip along to the end and find out why I should 100% be dead, but maybe just listen to what happened. So, went into surgery. This amazing surgeon cut out these bad bits, I think the majority of them, and then they briefly took me out of anesthesia and said it was a successful operation and they didn't have to take the leg, but I was still freaking out somewhat and confused, but I sort of passed out and went back to sleep. They woke me up the next day and I sort of made it through. But then the luck started happening again, is that when this sort of thing happens, they have to send you down to White Hau Hospital because it's a specialist facility for this type of stuff. And normally it takes a couple of weeks for beds to open up and the right staff to be assembled and stuff. But Hutt Valley immediately said, "We can take him now." And a plane had just turned up at Palmerston North Hospital and it had a spare seat back to Wellington. So on the Friday night, they flew me down to Wellington with a nurse. Yeah, yeah, I was pretty sure I was gonna die. She was really good. I think she could tell that I was scared. So we got to Wellington. The reason I really liked the Art Valley thing is they'd given me this information sheet, and this information sheet was of who Hutt Valley Hospital was and what they do with this sort of stuff. And it was like the A team, oh, not the A team, it's stupid. It was like Star Trek, and not the Captain Janeway Star Trek. It was the Jean-Luc Picard against the Borg Star Trek, the cool ones. And it also had what my job would be in the repair process. And I'm right into process and getting things done. I'm going, well, this process looks like I'm actually going to live from this. So we landed in Wellington. It took a while to get out to the Hutt Valley. They brought me upstairs. Initially, I was in a room with two other people, but I felt a lot safer. Then the next day, they hooked me up to a bunch of tubes and fed me that way, and also got rid of my urine and stuff that way. But I was also having problems with shitting myself. Well, not don't say that. with not being able to hold stuff in. And the problem was with that is then they'd have to clean me. And at the time I was 125 kg, you know, I'm 188 centimeters tall. I'm not an easy guy to move. And I had so little energy that I can barely move. So I'm trying to help. But, you know, these nurses and their helpers were just so professional and so good. And, you know, they made me feel comfortable and stuff. And that carried on. But I'm going, I don't want to be shitting myself all the time. You know, I'm 56 years old. And we actually worked out what it was in the end, is I have a reaction to this certain type of food. And once I started stopping that, then it came right. But it was just the professionalism of these people, and I'm going, wow. You know, I felt a lot better too, because, you know, the person that was in charge was a Maori woman, and I'm going, wow. Look at you fucking, Facebook's not going to like that word. Look at you taking care of stuff here. And then I met physiotherapist, which was another Maori woman with a moko. And I haven't been on the marae, and I'm 56, so I probably haven't been on the marae in 20 to 40 years. I remember it as a kid and stuff. That made me feel safe as well. But it's just everybody that was there. It was awesome. But anyway, then we started this process. And I know this isn't normal because, you know, I have seen some episodes of Shortland Street. And there was definitely no Dr. Lopata going on here. But there were all these different doctors and different nationalities, and they were doing different things. And like one of my clients does risk analysis. So he's Dr. Patrick Carragata. He started a company called RapidRatings.com, and he used to be, you know, the financial risk analyst for Canada. And at the moment, we're about to put a new website up for a book that he's got that talks about the risk analysis of Taiwan and China, which is going to be super interesting. And I'm going, wow, all this stuff they're doing is like game theory and stuff to assess what their ideas are, whether they're true or not. So as an example, there would be two different sets of doctors coming in, taking blood and going away and comparing their results to say, yes, he does have this flesh-eating bacteria. By the way, I'd never heard of a flesh-eating bacteria in New Zealand before. I thought that sort of thing only happened in Africa and Australia, where there's lots of bad shit going on. But it happens in New Zealand as well. It's rare, but it can happen from a spider biting you. But of course, what you do is you'd then go to your doctor, or you'd do something wise like that. I hadn't done that, and I'll tell you why later. First, we'll finish the story. So we went through all these tests, and like every day, I'm getting blood extracted, lots of tests, and then we start working every day too. This is the road to recovery. These are the exercises you have to do. And remember, I'm still scared that I'm going to die. I'm doing everything that I can to stay alive, and with discipline as well. If I'm getting intravenous feeds at night, hourly. So I'm fine to stay up for that during the night, and I might sleep during the day. That's fine. If that's what it takes to stay alive, I'm going to do that. And we keep on going through the process, and I'm really impressed with it. And all the people, and I go, geez, I'm really proud to be a Kiwi. This is what Kiwis are about. Why isn't this shown on TV? And I actually asked some of the nurses, I went, does anybody know that this place exists? Because it's awesome. She went, not really. And I went, yeah, I didn't find it on the Hutt Valley website. She went, oh, it might be on the main website. And I had a look over there, and it's not even like widely advertised there. It's just, here's this bunch of Kiwis doing all this wicked shit. And I'm a bit of a hobbyist historian. Like when I first went to uni in 1993, I used to just live in the library and do research on all different subjects and stuff. And one of the subjects that I looked at was, where did Maori actually come from? And that was surprising. We actually come from, all around the Pacific. So all the Pacific nations, they're all of our cousins, and they're the original ones who made New Zealand. So back in the early days, Maori didn't have a capital M, had a lowercase m, which meant, the normal people of the land. They were just the tribes that lived there. But when Queen Victoria gifted us the Treaty of Waitangi, and it was a gift, because the French were about to invade, is what she did is she said it had to be written in Maori so all the tribes would understand it. And the best part of it from my perspective is at the end where it says we all become British subjects, because what that meant is that all the Maori, and so all the different Pacific nations that had come here, all the other settlers all became New Zealanders, and we all got to be part of the same nation. Lots of stuff happened after that, where we got parliament and stuff, but our founding document says a Kiwi is anybody that's born in New Zealand. That's what a Kiwi is. And I was looking around me, and at the respect of the people, all different nations. There's like Indian people here that are Kiwis. There's a Scottish lady down in anesthetics that's really funny. There's Rangi who brings breakfast and stuff. He's a real nice guy to talk to. Just awesome people, and I'd love to have them all as my friends. But it made me super proud. And so I'm up to a day before 2 weeks since I was taken in, and I said that I should 100% be dead, and here's why. And remember, I'm not a religious person. My flatmate had actually come and seen me a few weeks earlier, and he had just moved back to Slatson, because I knew him beforehand, and he was a super hard worker, and and he's from India, and he'd just been saving up as much money as he could to start his first business. And he'd saved up enough money to buy the local dairy, and he came around to see me because he didn't have a shower at his dairy. And I went, dude, I've been in business over 30 years, and I've been a business mentor. I know what you're doing. You're sleeping in your office. You're not paying yourself a wage, and you're going to work 14 hours a day just to try and make your business work. That's what you're doing, isn't it? And he went, yeah. I went, okay. Heaps of people helped me with my first business, so I'm going to help you with yours, and you're going to stay in my spare room, and I am going to charge you $100 a week, but I'm also going to help you with your business, and we're going to make sure that you get as profitable as quickly as possible so you can pay yourself a wage and make your own decision about how you want to do your living and stuff like that. And he went, oh, thank you, Brad. And I went, no, it's cool. We're cool with this. And so he went away, and he came back, and he'd only been living with me for about a week, maybe a week and a half, and then he found me on the floor. So if I hadn't done that nice gesture, I would 100% be dead right now. There's actually another thing too, but I'll leave it for another post, which is another anomaly which is linked to me not seeing a doctor about this flesh-eating virus that I'd never heard of before, that makes the statistics even more bizarre, that I'll do in another post, because I haven't been online in a couple of weeks, and I just did this video because I know my family and friends are worried. I think people should know about this death-eating virus. So that's what happened to me last week.
So what do you want people to do, Bryn?
I just want them to be nicer to other people. So as we saw, me just helping out a mate saved my life. But if you can't afford to do that, buy some food for a food kitchen. If you don't have any money, then just be nice to somebody and give them a compliment, and that'll make this recession not so hard for, the upcoming Christmas. So if you want people to know about flesh-eating viruses that can kill people, share this video, because I didn't know about them, and if I did, I'd be a lot more careful. So hope you enjoyed the story. Have a great night. Peace out.